How do you cope with the fear of your partner cheating on you? On the plus side, we end up swimming in beanies that we're 90% sure are made with love, and not just because our partner is working through their stash. I'm currently wearing a hat that my wife knit me a decade ago. It's a simple garter stitch and my absolute favorite possession. It's the first thing she knit me. I've instructed her to bury me with the hat. Having to say, "I'm not personally responsible for your emotional health," to a partner sucks, and may contradict what Hollywood teaches us about love. But I've counseled. I worked in crisis services. Countless clients struggling with toxic relationships, and having to reiterate that point over and over. It's true. Whether people like it or not, if you need to call your partner as some activation ritual before making a decision, or can't tolerate solitude, I encourage you to work on that. Foster some self-love. I was in that position, and told I didn't do enough for her and that she deserved better. Like staying up all night to hold her while she was anxious or depressed when you have work in the morning, while she refuses to see a psychiatrist and take medication. I miss her, but wow, I feel really sorry for the guy she left me for. I had 2 partners, possibly 3, not sure on the last one that cheated on me. The first one I know for sure. It feels absolutely soul-wrecking, so I do know how it feels. But I do also know the signs and what to look out for. Investigating phones or emails, or listening for hushed conversations aside. The biggest telltale is in the personality change. It happens 100% of the time. That is, at least from talking to other people about it, has led me to conclude anyway. You can always tell, and if you suspect, you could well be right. I'm not Mr. Paranoid or anything. But the reality is, if she's going to cheat on you, then it's going to happen. There is nothing you can do. If it's going to happen, you can't control it. What you can control, however, is your reaction to it. And mine is very simple. End of relationship. Block contact. See you later. The second time it happened to me, I didn't even offer an explanation. Her friend contacted me at some point asking why I had cold cut her out of my life, and how it was so faffed up of me to do so. I simply responded that I knew she was screwing someone behind my back. "Oh, you know about that? Well, really doesn't matter. It's you she wants." I don't think I actually responded. I hung up. Getting past that business for the second time was remarkably easy. She had a few things left at my place which went into the bin, hoovered my house, cleaned the bathroom and kitchen, threw out the few bits in the fridge as I used to get some food items that she liked but I never used. Total clean out. I didn't feel the need to go nail a new girl that instant. Instead, spent the evening playing some guitar and watched a movie. I was perfectly happy and was done with the whole thing in an evening practically. That's my reaction. Everyone is the one who will have to deal with the fact they are unfaithful, and when you find that out, they'll have nothing from you, money, respect, nothing. It is absolutely the other person's problem. But I strongly suspect that they don't care what happens when their partner finds out, or have any guilt over it. I once asked someone who I knew had cheated or had an affair if they felt guilty about it. They said no. They were still with the person at the time. When someone cheats, I don't know how it is ever possible to trust them again, especially when they show no remorse for it and or a willingness to change. As someone who had an emotional affair, I will say, I felt guilty all the time. And I started lying to myself to not disturb my self-image, because I never thought I would be able to do that much harm to a person I truly love. I still beat myself up for it, and started a therapy to work on my self-esteem issues, that I would no longer seek validation from others again. Not every cheater is the same. Sometimes there is a reason why. Even if the reason is never justified, it can lead to a solution and growth. But that requires a strong wish to change and the ability to reflect on your actions and take responsibility. If they don't feel bad about cheating, that's also their problem, and they'll have to deal with the consequences of being an immoral, unempathetic jackass. People will figure them out. I think most people who don't regret cheating haven't been forced to reconcile the 2 parts of their lives. You can live very happily pretending to be someone else, until you and everyone around you is suddenly aware that you are not and never were that person. I've never cheated, but I've hidden parts of my life that eventually came out. And I know that, if you have any humanity, You can go from perfectly happy to absolutely buried with shame and guilt and remorse in one conversation. Relationships have problems, ups and downs, and sometimes people cheat. It's not ideal, of course, but we all know it happens, and it doesn't always mean the marriage is over. That, of course, means remorse, apology, and a sincere willingness to change and never do it again. Someone who cheats just because they can. The opportunity presents itself. They're out of town. They can't be monogamous. It's not natural. Bullshit is someone with no conscience and no remorse. Divorce that person. No amount of therapy can fix them. Like I could live with crippling anxiety over that possibility. Or, I could choose to trust them and enjoy our time together. In the worst case scenario that they do happen to end up cheating on me, I can then dump them and move on with my life and things will improve for me. So in both scenarios, I'm either happily with someone and my life is awesome, or they cheat, I'm betrayed. And then I can get that loser out of my life and live happily and awesomely, no longer being cheated on. What bothered me the most and affected me in a profound way was that it didn't make any sense at all for her to cheat. It made me realize that nothing mattered and you can't control what others do even if it's completely irrational. Mine was made exponentially worse because she was a true narcissist and sociopath. She had absolutely zero empathy towards me, couldn't have cared less that she hurt me so deeply. If my partner cheats on me, then she's out and I move on with my life. Is this what I want? Of course not, but anything could happen like disease or death, and it's not healthy to worry needlessly about those either. Plus, constant insecurity is a great way to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. You'll erode trust if you're always accusing your partner of things they're not doing, and you'll also make yourself less attractive of a partner. Not a great combo for a long-term relationship. I've been cheated on by every partner I've ever had. I just got married 6 months ago to the only person I've ever actually trusted. It comes natural, which is crazy. I do have moments where I had intrusive thoughts at random like what if, but I snap myself out of it and remind myself how truly trustworthy this man is and how I know he loves me. A lot of commenters seem to not understand that being cheated on can cause a type of PTSD. It's something you just work through. My ex cheated on me 16 years ago, and I think I will always have some doubts. My wife, who I've been with over 12 years, has never once done anything that would make me think she would cheat on me, and I trust her completely, but that trauma from 16 years ago is still there, rearing its ugly head from time to time. It can be extremely traumatic. Loss, like this, is not easily reconciled. Not only do you work through it, you command your recovery. Perhaps the biggest blow is to one's self-confidence. You doubt yourself, lose trust in your judgment. But many commenters here don't see that what a partner does is not really in your control. The bigger loss, though, may very well be in the hesitation that causes you to pass on the next chance for happiness for fear of being hurt again. Don't let the past rob you of that. Love is risk. If you don't try again, you lose. Also, is an action. Allowing this trauma to bleed into your future is not an act of self-love, which must come first. That isn't being selfish. To love and respect yourself. It's actually one of the greatest gifts you can give a partner. It allows you to be more present for them. By bringing them down from that high pedestal, value yourself and work on your self-worth. Then if they actually cheat on you, it won't destroy you. You'll know you deserve much better, and you'll be capable of simply walking away without any drama. The person you're with now may not actually be a cheater, and your extreme lack of self-worth and insecurity is creating irrational fears and delusional ideas in your mind. Perhaps you should speak to a therapist to help you talk out your issues. No need to suffer alone with doubts. Communicating with your partner is a good start. Talk to them about your concerns, and make sure that you both understand each other's boundaries and expectations for the relationship. Find a healthy way to manage your fear of your partner cheating. You could try focusing on self-care to manage stress by exercising or hanging out with friends and family to take your mind off things. Try to focus on the present. It's easy to get caught up in worries of the future. It's also natural to have concerns in any relationship, So work through them together with your partner and it will make your bond stronger. I've been cheated on. I have every reason to feel the fear of being cheated on by anyone, but I don't. If the person I'm with didn't cheat on me, there's no reason to think they will. If I had a reason to suspect it, sure. But then you either take steps to find out, or you end the relationship. If there are no reasons and you have a lot of fear regarding your partner cheating, then you have an issue that is bigger than Reddit. You need therapy. If she wants to, she will. Objectively speaking, there is always someone out there hotter, more well-hung, richer, nicer, smarter, more charming, funnier, more ambitious, just more, than me. And that holds true for all of us. So if a partner is going to, they will, no matter what we think or have to say about it. I just hope she leaves me first instead of actually cheating. My first real love started cheating on me with the mechanic she met at work. I manually rewound the answering machine and checked her messages, and he left one saying he couldn't make their planned date because a pump had blown up. I remember incredulously asking, "You cheated on me with a guy that says blowed up?" In general, in my life experience, I don't think there's any correlation where the affair partner is better in any significant ways. Some people just want strange. Why would you fear someone cheating on you? If they cheat on you, they don't want to be with you. This is valuable information, because I would rather them tell me they don't want to be with me than them going and cheating on me, and me being ignorant to it, and then finding out. It's heartbreaking. Being used and lied to like that, it's awful. I never have, and never will cheat. If I lose feelings for someone, I will just tell them honestly, and break it off, if need be. But I'm not gonna go cheating on them while we're in a relationship. That's messed up. I don't get why some people can't just break it off, and be honest, say they lost interest or whatever is the reason. And then, after you're no longer in a relationship, go and pursue other romantic or sexual interests. I never feared my ex-wife of 10 years, of cheating on me. Then it happened. I never feared my ex-girlfriend of 10 years, of cheating on me until a month ago. And then it happened. How many times can a person have their heart and trust shattered before they develop some PTSD and doubts? You're never the same. Why would I fear it? Because being cheated on is a soul-destroying hurt. Completely trusting a person and having that trust broken is a big deal. And when they then try to hurt you more after you catch them, some people have a soft heart, are very empathic and compassionate. These people feel emotional hurts worse. My ex was a gamer, not very social unless with his friends, unemployed, and had no car, and yet he still ended up cheating on me. He even told me he was cheated on by his ex and would never cheat because he knows how it feels like, and I believed him. Unfortunately, if they want to cheat, they will. You can only hope they have high morals and won't. Cheating is super random, and most people aren't cheaters until they cheat, unfortunately. This is probably gonna be unpopular opinion, but literally everyone is capable of cheating given the right circumstances. Most people will never admit this to themselves and will sweep the fact that they cheated under the rug. If you have fears from past relationships, then I would consider therapy to work out those issues before bringing them into a new relationship. I always start a relationship with the mindset that if they haven't done anything wrong or signal to me that they're in it 100% with me, then I would do some digging or just end it. Can't have a relationship without trust. This trust ain't easy. The last couple girls I had LTRs with, I'm certain cheated or were prepared to cheat. One of them had a new fiance 3 weeks after broke up. The last girl I was serious with was acting weird and sneaky towards me before breaking me to fucking pieces by breaking up. For the second time in 2 months, she literally told me, "You're not special enough to be with me," thinking she was empowering herself by ruining me. It took an entire year to rebuild myself as a person. Around this time I met someone new, and we slowly started a relationship. It was great. We spent a lot of quality time together, and we were such a perfect fit. She's a warm and kind person, and I love spending time with her. But in time, realized I had trust issues that I was bringing in. There was an ex who was still vaguely in the picture as a friend. With this in mind, I mentally prepared for the worst. I had literal nightmares about catching her cheating. We eventually talked it out, and I found that aspect turned out to be nothing worth worrying about. He was just some dude that was kinda part of her friend group, and he eventually went away anyway. So over time, she earned my trust, and I worked through my own issues. And with that, my fears went away, all by openly talking with her about it. So for me, time, communication, and earned trust are what got me though. Also happy ending. In time we moved in together, and then got married. It scares me now to think where I'd be if I let my own insecurities completely take over and stay there. I'm 40 and have been married about 6 years. Before that I had a string of long-term relationships. I've literally never, ever worried about it. If I had an actual reason to suspect, then it'd be different. For example, if a partner started regularly doing something that I wasn't invited to, that'd be suspicious. But unless you have a reason for suspicion, you're just being paranoid. Why would anyone just assume that their partner is going to cheat? When we got married, we agreed that if one of us cheats, it is over. That is it. No going back. I figure if she cheats I will find out eventually, and I already know what the outcome will be. But I trust her. I want to be with my wife, but I do not have to be with her to survive. I believe she feels the same way. We are in our mid-50s, and have been married 20 years. I spent a good part of my adult life on my own. I can take care of myself, so I just don't worry about it. Many relationships survive infidelity. I'm not saying it wouldn't be really hard, but an affair is not necessarily the end of a relationship, as many people think. Still, no one wants it to happen to them. The thing about cheating is this: if you are in a good relationship, you're happy, no major issues, building a life together, and your partner cheats, that's on them. Meaning that if your partner is going to cheat, there is nothing you can do about that. It's not your fault. It's not because you weren't good enough, or happy enough, or interested enough, or pretty enough, or sexy enough, or didn't have dinner ready on time, or didn't do the laundry the right way, or anything like that. A person who cheats is going to cheat for whatever their reason is, and you being the perfect spouse will make no difference. It's hard to learn that, but it's true. If you realize that, and are a good wife or husband, that part is important. You can't be MIA or cheating yourself without shoulder some blame. If the other cheats, then what your spouse does is their choice, and often has nothing to do with you. What my partner does in their spare time is none of my business. If they decide to neglect our relationship for any reason, I'll dump them. I'm not gonna investigate or accuse them. I'm just going to dump them. So I'm not afraid of my partner cheating on me. I'm afraid of us drifting apart. Because that's what we're all really afraid of when it comes down to it. By trusting them, I either do or do not have proof. No matter what, we established equitable financial resolution in the event if a separation. As much as I love my wife, my life is so much harder because of her. If I lose my relationship, other doors open. I can literally retire since I don't have to work to maintain her standard of living. If you've ever thought, if I didn't have my spouse, I'd do X, then you'll be okay. Instead of making tough decisions, sometimes life makes them for you, and you enjoy another path of life. I've been cheated in the only long-term relationship I had, and I used to worry about it too, but it didn't prevent me from being cheated on. During therapy, and from my own experience, I've come to realize that this fear changes when you work on yourself, and start to feel confident that even if the cheating happens, you'll be okay. It will hurt. But that's it. You won't die. Your world won't end. You can continue doing your hobbies, visiting friends, etc. Strengthening the relationship with yourself is also good, because you start to see your relationship partner as someone you want rather than someone you need. This changes made me enjoy the presence of my now boyfriend a lot more. We are a lot more closer. If it's a generalized fear of cheating, you have to realize that your fear has nothing to do with the person you're with, and everything to do with you. Indicate that you have some trust issues, which will inhibit your ability to genuinely connect with someone. Personally, I went to therapy, not for fear of cheating specifically, but working on myself more address this as well as a side effect. To cope with this fear, you should project it onto your partner. Never trust them. Always let them know you don't and never will trust them. snoop in their drawers, pockets, bags, phone, car, closet at every opportunity, interrogate them every time they return from work or from any activity, sniff their clothing for any unusual scents, review their credit card activity, and question each and every expenditure that is not something that was bought for you. Demand gifts of ever-increasing extravagance from your partner to prove your worth to yourself. At social events, intervene in every conversation your partner gets into. Better yet, isolate, decline all invites, in order to eliminate any possibility your partner will ever interact with anyone other than yourself. Enlist everyone involved to keep an eye on your partner. Their family, friends, co-workers, your family and friends. Do all that, and you just might begin to alleviate your fears of infidelity. The other way, acknowledge your fears are your own and take responsibility for them. Become a loving partner rather than a suspicious, jealous monster. It might occur anyway, but your chances at having a loving relationship where it does not occur increase significantly. I've been cheated on by all my exes. They all said it's because of how disgusting my body is and that I should be understanding. Lol. For reference, I used to weigh 125 pounds and had body dysmorphia, which led to anorexia, and went down to 70 pounds at 5'6", so pretty gross. But I've been 90 pounds for a couple years now, so not as gross, but still ew. My current BF made fun of my body with his friends as well at the beginning and chooses his female friends over me a lot of the time, but I just stopped caring. I don't cope, I just don't care anymore. I feel like it's something I should get used to. Kind of funny though how I thought I needed to be skinny to find love, and now I'm too skinny for it. Bite the bullet and dump them. You can sit around and worry and lose sleep, but damn, don't let her get the satisfaction of fucking with you twice. I have been in that situation a few times. It was tougher with the first gal as she was my college sweetheart, and apparently cheated like crazy to where I went to get tested after. But in that time, didn't do anything stupid like waste time trying to catch her in the act. We broke up, and years later she apologized. In an ironic twist, we had a torrid affair a decade later while both of us were in horrible marriages. She is currently good friends with my current wife. Been cheated on once, now married to the same person. I realized that I wasn't giving her something in the relationship, and that's why she looked to someone else. For me, it also wasn't worth breaking the relationship up, and she didn't want to leave me either. We both learnt lessons from it, and used the lessons to form a stronger relationship. Thinking back on it, it would be silly for us to break up because of it. We now have a more open dialogue where nothing is off limits. We even explore the potential for being in a poly relationship, but we both fear the judgment of society against it. I think I'm sort of lucky in that both my partner and I are open to polyamory as long as we actually discuss these things like adults. It's fine, and if either of us cheat, it would be the worst thing either of us could ever do and therefore would be the grounds to break up, because it's even more of a dick move to actively cheat. In other circumstances, I might be more worried. But honestly, if your partner decides cheating on you is their best option, it means they're immature. They either want to upset you, want the power and drama of taboo partners, or for some reason, they think you aren't good enough, which is horsesh tea. I'm afraid I can't offer outright advice, because, admittedly, the idea never actually crossed my mind. I can't tell you how to cope with that betrayal, because I know that no matter how lucky I am, if I got cheated on, I would be devastated, absolutely ruined. The only saving grace is knowing that they're better than that. I decided to trust him and believe him without evidence, because the alternative is to drive me and him crazy until we broke up. After 15 or so years, I was convinced that he loves me and that even if he were to slip up, it would be because of a weakness in him, not because of how he feels about me. So I eliminated the threat. I gave him a hall pass with the condition that he be discreet if he ever uses it and not let it get back to me. So now, he can't cheat on me.